My mother was as much a part of Las Vegas as she was Hollywood. In fact, in some ways more so. I think she really connected to live performing more than she did the movies. And obviously in her latter days, she made way more live performances than she ever did movies. And when she built her little hotel here that some of you might remember, she would still have it if it wasn't for her, one of those husband number 3. And that was her only real downfall in life, was the choice of men.
She used to say her picker was broken.
That's right. She didn't pick well. But you know, the reality is my sister and I grew up in Las Vegas in many ways. My first memories are in this town. As a child, we had the strange privilege of having Christmas in Las Vegas, as if that was a privilege to a child back in the days when the Strip was pretty barren. My sister and I had our first stage performances here in Las Vegas at the Desert Inn Hotel. And it was an amazing thing to watch her perform. But more importantly, it was amazing to see her interact with people. And the way she gave back to people was a very unique thing. She connected with an audience like no other performer I ever saw, and she gave to them in a way that I had never seen other performers do. She took the time to meet and greet everybody that came up to her. In fact, my sister and I shared her with everybody, the world, in fact. And it may seem to some like maybe a bad thing, but somehow she made it okay for us, and we were privileged in a way to have such a big family. And when she passed away recently, it was an amazing outpouring of so many fans that she had touched in so many ways, because that's what the arts do. My mother was very passionate about performing. She handed it down to my sister and myself and many others by inspiring us to want to give in that way, to perform in that way. Whatever you were good at, she was brilliant at inspiring us and allowing us to find what we were good at. She very early on put me in a television show with my sister. I was very young, and I arrived on the set to see all this great activity going on and cameras and lights. It was incredible. And I wanted to go hang out with some of the crew guys that I had grown up with. And immediately I was snatched by this teacher and taken into this trailer with all the other actors. And then we had to sit there and look out the window where all the real fun was going on. And I realized at that moment I didn't want to be an actor. Because you were just a tool, like a piece of equipment that's stored away in the truck or the trailer until we need you. Whereas the other people were out there making magic. So, you know, instead of forcing it down my throat, she let me follow my dreams and to pursue those areas in directing and producing. I started in camera, and she bought me my first cameras, but not so easily. People obviously can spoil their children. I had to earn that camera, even though we could have bought 50 cameras. She made me earn it. She made me mentor under a guy named Harry Stradling, who was a famous director photographer. And he was an older man at the time, but he took the time to teach me some very valuable lessons, life lessons. So what this school does is what I was fortunate enough to learn in my life. Not everybody can grow up on the back lots of MGM, but we can recreate those lessons here in places like this, and we can inspire people to fulfill their dreams and to find what they are great at. And that is what this school does in such a beautiful way. So, that's an applause for the school. And we now have, you know, obviously the great teachers that are here are the ones that are now to hand this down. But the lessons are still to learn through all the great art. You know, it's sad my mother left the planet, but it also happened in a magical, kind of beautiful way. She did exactly what she wanted to do. I have to mention my sister because, you know, she was also an amazing person, but she fulfilled herself in so many different ways as a writer. And again, how do you inspire children to do that? And I listened to Nancy a minute ago say that she was talking about one of the teachers who said, he's inspiring. And that is truly the greatest gift that a teacher can give, is to inspire people to move on and to learn their craft and to create great art. And so my mother lived her life that way. She was the most giving, wonderful person. She would give you the shirt off her back, and sometimes involuntarily in the case of some of the ex-husbands. But we all survived quite handily. This is our town, this is our school, and we want to support it, and we'll continue to do so. I'll let my wife jump in here somewhere and fill in the blanks. Well, she knew my mom very well, but later in life, so it's kind of an interesting viewpoint that I'd love her to share with you. Thank you very much for this honor for her.
All right, I was just really privileged to join this family about 7.5 years ago, and I moved to Las Vegas. I was on a soap opera in New York City called One Life to Live for many, many years. And when I moved to Las Vegas, I actually had the good fortune of meeting Todd Fisher, not in Las Vegas, but he had spent many years here with his mother. So when we got together, I inherited Debbie Reynolds, and it was the greatest 7 years I could have ever asked for with anybody. You know, she loved Las Vegas, and she would have absolutely loved this night and loved meeting all of you. She was just an amazing woman. And not a lot of people know, but she had a stroke here about 1.5 years ago. And she was with us. We had built her a home on our property, which was fantastic because she just loved coming here. This was her favorite place to live and be. She loved the entertainment business and loved her fans. During that time that she was struggling to come back from that, and she eventually did, and we only have the Las Vegas doctors to thank for that because all the doctors in Beverly Hills couldn't do anything for her, but she made a beautiful comeback. During that time, we were lying in bed watching, I don't know, some foolish show called The Kardashians or something. And, you know, she looked over at me and she said, "I don't know who I am." And I looked at her and I said, "You don't know who you are?" She said, "No. Do you know who I am?" I said, "Boy, have I got some good news for you. You are the last living legend and an icon and a very loved actress and human being on this planet." And I went and got the movie Singing in the Rain off the shelf and played it for her, and she just could not believe that was her. Over the next few months, she got her memory back, and she was just doing great. And we had to get another 1.5 years with this great woman. And so I just want to say that she would have been so happy to get this award. She would have also just been so happy to have anything to do with inspiring and knowing how she touched each and every one of you. I always like to say that the most important quality a human being could have is when you make somebody feel like they're the most important person in the world. It works just wonders for you and everyone you come in contact with, and that was my mother-in-law, Debbie Reynolds. Thank you so much for this amazing award for her. We accept it very gracefully. Thank you so much.